Okay, so you completed the Introduction to Notebooks lab on Tuesday on campus, and now we need to do the post-lab assignment. So every lab was going to have a post-lab assignment. For the Tuesday lab, the post-lab will be due Wednesday. For the Thursday lab, the post-lab will be due Saturday. So every Wednesday and Saturday, pretty much, you're going to have a post-lab assignment too during the course. So where can we find the questions for this assignment, or the prompts? So if you go to the handout, was the handout where we got the objectives, disposal, background, that kind of main document for everything. If you scroll all the way to the bottom, you'll find the post-lab questions, post-lab assignment. So this assignment has two parts. There's questions for you to answer, and then there's a conclusion for you to write. And so both of these parts make up the assignment, or make up the entire post-lab assignment. For this lab, there's a lot of overlap between the content of the questions and the content of conclusions. Not the most complicated of experiments that we did, so it's not too complicated questions. And for the purpose of this lab, since it's the first time writing a conclusion, the idea of the post lab is to set up, or the idea of these questions is to kind of guide you for the material, the ideas that should be covered in the conclusion that we have here. So this is the prompt, or kind of what you need to do for the post lab. Where do you actually submit that assignment? So if we come back into the lab folder, we go all the way to the bottom, you'll note there's this post lab assignment. That's where it's going to be. I do really quick want to note your notebook is still going to be available. If you click in there, you can get into your lab group, get into the see the information that you recorded, and you should ideally be using the information that you recorded, those results, those observations that you made when completing the post-lab assignment. So let's go to the post-lab assignment. It's a journal. That's the same thing we use for the participation assignment. It's just a type of assignment in Blackboard. Click Create Journal. You do have to give it a title. It doesn't really matter what you want to call it. And then you can type your response. 1, yes, 2, fun, whatever. And you can type it up or whatever. You can also submit browse local files to be attaching something from your device. So if you take a picture of handwritten work, you write it up in Word, whatever you want to do, that's totally fine. Blackboard does not save any work. So if you're typing something up here and you close the window, it's just gone. So I'd encourage you to either be saving drafts down here, that button in the bottom right, or doing work elsewhere, right, on paper, in Word or something. And you can do multiple things. If you want to do some things on paper, we'll do some math eventually, right, doing calculations as part of post-labs. If you want to do that math on paper and upload images and then like type other stuff in, or a Word document or PDF, whatever, that's fine. I'll be able to figure it out. So when you're done, you do need to hit post entry. If you save entry as a draft, I can't see it. I can only see posts. And voila, we got it. And then we might realize, like, oh, whoops, we were supposed to write a conclusion. You can't edit a journal post, but no worries. You can always make a new journal entry. We can call it conclusion, and you could type it up, whatever it is, and post that. And if you post it and you realize, like, oh, whoops, I didn't want to post that, you can always make a new journal entry if you only write like half a conclusion and post it. You can always finish writing it or write the whole thing. I'll see every single post that you make, so it's very clear to me what you are all submitting, and I have timestamps, so I'll know like what the last thing you submitted is. It's down to the second, so I can see which ones you submitted last, and those are the ones I grade. And I look at all of them to make sure there's information, not information that's missing or something. So that's how you submit the post lab. There's one other piece I want to point out, which is this little like table over here. This is how you can click to open a rubric. So let's go in there and see what we got. Just click on it. And now our rubric is open here in this new window. And so if you scroll down, you can see there's the post-lab question 1, post-lab question 2, and then multiple components of the conclusion. And so how I write the rubrics is I basically just write what like a perfect response would be for each component. So for perfect response for the questions are over here. And then you'll get graded based on how closely you get to that. These numbers are a little weird because I have to put in percentages that are rounded out of 15 points. When it comes to actual rating, this is 2.5 points, 2.5 points. It'll come out even. It's not that this is worth more than this part. It all comes out to 2. For the conclusion, there's multiple parts. I encourage you to look at this rubric to see what things I'm looking for in the conclusion. These are the only parts of the conclusion that I'm expecting there to be. You don't have to write some long book talking about all sorts of things. These are the only components, the only parts of the conclusion that I am expecting to find or that I would be looking for. You will note one of the things is professional product. having complete sentences, no clunking the spellings. I encourage you to be writing, rereading what you are writing. If you have any questions about how to do any of this, any questions about the post lab, what I'm looking for in the rubric, please don't hesitate to reach out. Otherwise, good luck and have fun.